Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Herman with the law firm of Herman, Mervin Span, and Horowitz. We called this press conference today to announce the filing of a lawsuit against the city of Opelika. This is a very disturbing case. This case is about a man named Victor Howard, who is a known violent man. He battered his girlfriend for years. He has a long rap sheet for felony violent crimes. Last September, this woman sitting next to me finally told this man to leave her house. He said that if he had to leave, he would cause harm to her and her children. So she went and got a restraining order. The judge issued the restraining order, and then she went to the Opelika police to have the restraining order served on him. The police served the restraining order on Victor Howard, who was very angry and in a rage. Instead of making him leave the home like they were supposed to do, the police allowed this man to stay in the home. As we allege in the lawsuit, he was given 24 hours to stay. And so my client said she would leave and she would take her kids with her. Unfortunately, the police did not let her take her 10-year-old disabled son with her. This boy was not even a child of Victor Howard. She protested with the police and said she's not leaving her disabled son with this man who's not even his father. And the police threatened her that if she didn't leave, they were going to put her in jail. So she was forced to leave her son. And then this man, as we allege in the lawsuit, brutally beat and raped this boy that evening. It's a very unfortunate case, and we have filed a civil rights lawsuit on behalf of this boy and his mother against the city of Opelika. And what we allege in there is, first of all, that there's at the very least a failure to train these officers properly. In our estimation, this completely violates all procedures in serving a restraining order. You're serving on someone who is, by definition, not safe and violent, and to leave him in the home and to leave him with a child who's not even his own and he is already violent is just, unfortunately, serving up this boy to this violent man in a rage. We also allege that they just acted with total reckless disregard for the health and safety of this boy, which led to this brutal rape. My client is here, and she's not using her name, but she is appearing on TV, and so you can use her likeness. And she's going to make just a brief statement about how this has sort of devastated her and her son.
It just devastated me. I mean, I realized they just didn't know what I've been through. I tried to get my son. I mean, I went to the door and I was calling out his name, and the officer told me to stand back, and he was losing his patience, that he was going to take me to jail. I tried. I mean, I tried so hard. I mean, so hard. I mean, I'm very heartbroken. My heart is so torn.
For this boy, life is confusing enough. He's pretty severely mentally disabled, which is readily apparent. And for him, it's difficult. But now to go through this brutal beating and a rape, it's so much more confusing for him. And so he's going to need really a lifetime of care and help and guidance and assistance. And so she's forced to file this lawsuit to get him this help now.
How is he doing right now?
He have therapy. He have counseling at his school, and he was like very angry, and
Talk about the bathing afterwards.
And he kept wanting to take bath often because he said that his scent was on him.
How did you find out he had been sexually assaulted?
my car had broke, and I tried to go fix my car. I had went to the store and tried to get some coolant for my car, but that didn't work. Then I went to try to get a battery, that didn't work. So I went home, and when I walked in the house, I was in the kitchen, and he stood behind me. He had opened the refrigerator. He grabbed my hand, and he had pushed my room door open. He set me on my bed, and that's when he had buckled his pants and pulled his underwear down and was moving his body back and forth.
Did he, verbally, he didn't tell you this? It was more like a physical signaling to what had happened?
He was like showing me. He showed me when he took me in the room and set me on the bed, and then when he stood in front of me and he unbuckled his pants and he put his underwear down, he was moving his body back and forth.
What did he say?
He said, "Mama, Billy did this to me."
And this is not the biological father of
No,
this child, right?
No, and I tried to tell them. I tried to tell them. I tried to tell them.
She told the police that day this was not his son. And even the restraining order for their children they do have together said that the children go with the mother.
Why would not allow her to stay with her children or take her children and leave them with a man who allegedly is an abuser and a person who has problems with the law?
Right. Well, even on the face of their own police report, what they say, their excuse is that they said we gave the kids a choice with who they wanted to stay with.
They're minors. How can they give a choice to a minor?
They can't, number one. Number two, the restraining order did not give the police to give the authority to give the kids a choice. The restraining order said their children together go with the mother. Number three, the other child wasn't his son, who was ultimately mentally disabled. And so for him even to put that he was asked the question, was able to answer that question is just, it's ridiculous.
Did he at some point then said he would stay with this man?
No, this boy is mentally disabled. He was in this house, was not even able, the mother was trying to take him out, and the police were sending her out of the house, making her leave him there.
But the logical thing would have been to, have her go with all her children, right?
I tried to, because he was in the room. I called him out the room, and he had told him to go back in the room. I went towards the door to get him, but he wouldn't let me, because I tried. I kept saying, come on, come on, come on. I tried, and I told them, I said, that's not his son. And he asked, he said, why their name wasn't on the restraining order? And I said, because there wasn't his, that's not his children. So I had the restraining order, I flipped it open, and I told him, I said, these two right here, the judge gave me custody. And then when the officer had asked my two other kids, do you want to stay, do you want to go? So my 10-year-old, she wanted to stay because she wanted to play with the neighbor's daughter. So they let her got off the couch and walked outside.
So she stayed with...
They let her go outside, but they didn't know that I had took her with me while because she was already at the door. They let her get off the couch and go outside next door because he asked.
She was able to save that daughter. When she went outside and the police made her leave, she was able to grab that daughter and bring her with her.
So you took 3 with you in total, right?
Yes, 3.
And you left the other one behind.
Yeah.
You did explain to them, and being police officers, that we know who this man is, right?
Yes, when we got outside, I tried to explain to the other officer, and the other officer. I tried to when he was outside, I say he gonna damage my property. So the officer said if he do, we gonna come back and arrest him for vandalism. So he had pulled off, he left. The other officer, he was there waiting for me to leave. I bagged out my driveway. I looked at him and I told him, I said, my son is disabled. And he was like, gone, gone, gone. So I went on. Then I had stopped my car and called my daughter off my neighbor's porch.
Let me understand, this is your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was your ex-boyfriend there?
We was living together.
At the time, and you had a restraining order against him at the time?
I had went and got a restraining order because I had left my house Friday night. I had left everybody home who was
Yeah, let me explain this
Can you
part.
explain?
Yeah, they were living together. They had 2 kids together, and then she has 2 kids not from this man. He was violent with her on Friday, threatened her, hurt her, and threatened to hurt her kids. She went to court on Saturday and got a restraining order. The restraining order gave her sole possession of the house. And what's supposed to happen is they serve him with a restraining order and they stay there until he leaves. They make him leave. That's the whole point. The first thing they did wrong was they let him stay at the house. After serving with the restraining order, they said he could stay for a period of time to get his things together. They told her 24 hours. And so she said, then I'm not staying, I'm taking my kids. I'll leave with my kids. And when she went to leave with her kids, that's when the police made the next mistake, as they said, no, you can't take your kids, let's see where the kids want to stay. Invite number 1 with the 2 kids on the restraining order said that she got sole custody, and then the other kids were not his kids. And that's became the next problem. And so ultimately they forced her to leave under threat of going to jail and leave her 10-year-old mentally disabled son with this man, violent man who is now in a rage, who they just served with the restraining order.
Where is this man right now?
In jail.
Why is he in jail?
For raping this boy.
For that.
Has he been convicted yet?
No, he's not been, the trial has not taken place yet. He's been arrested and pending trial.
And what do you guys hope to get out of the lawsuit?
Well, it's a civil lawsuit, and all we can do now is hold the city accountable. And what she's seeking is money damages to take care of her son. He is going to need extremely costly medical care the rest of his life, and he was 10 years old. To be sexually exploited and raped in that way will cause some problems the rest of his life.
How has this changed your life as a mother and the life of your children?
It's like hard, it just hard. I was stressed. I had a nervous breakdown, but I had to get myself together.
She tried to do the right thing. She did what a woman's supposed to do who's being battered. Get a restraining order.
Has she been battered before by this same man?
Yes.
And you went back with him. How many times did this happen, that he abused you?
Like off and on.
And you complained about him a few times before that?
Yeah.
Was this the first time that
It
you
was
have?
the one first time I was like really, really fed up.
She was scared to get the restraining order. She snuck out to get the restraining order and didn't let him know.
Why do you think that he raped your son? Why?
To get back at me.
The rape, I believe the rape was an act of violence to hurt this mother.
Have you contacted the police department? I know there's a lawsuit filed, but have you done
We sent them a notice before we filed the lawsuit, and
when was that?
I don't know exactly when. It's what's called a notice of claim.
Okay.
How much money are you seeking?
There's no specific amount. Ultimately, a jury will determine that. And we will be seeking money to pay for his the medical care that he'll need.
So he's getting counseling right now as we speak?
Yes.
How many times a week?
I think a week or 2 weeks, because she go to the school.
It's a boy, but
No, it's a lady. She go.
the counselor.
The woman comes to his school and counsels him there.
What grade is he in?
6th grade.
And he's 11?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are your other children now?
They in school.
They're with you under your
Yes.
custody.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me their ages, please?
1, 2, 1, 6, 1, 10, and my son's 12.
I'm sorry, one is 1 year old?
One is 2,
Oh, okay, 2 years old.
one is 6, and one is 10, and one is 12.
The 10-year-old, the 12-year-old is the one who was allegedly raped, okay,
When was the attack?
Last September,
last September.
September 11th.
This is one time that this happened, when she left the boy in the house with this man.
That
When-
evening,
when
all
they
night.
asked her to go all
One
night.
One night, but it happened throughout the night. I mean, just horrible things. And he was interviewed by the Christie House and was able to articulate a pretty gruesome and detailed statement about.
He actually confessed to the police?
No, I'm sorry, the victim.
The victim.
The victim at Christie House was interviewed and was able to give I believe, a pretty articulate statement about the details of the beating and the rape.
Did your ex-boyfriend confess to the crime or not?
No, he's like in denial, but I believe my son. I believe him. I believe him.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did give us your name, right?